Welcome. If you're listening to this, chances are you care about staying active, or you've had a recent reminder of how quickly that can change, often due to pain. Most people don't see it coming. They're coping, carrying on, and doing what they've always done, until one ordinary moment becomes one step too far.
Welcome to the 3 Rules to Stay Active for Life. I'm Gavin Routledge, a lifestyle medicine professional, osteopath and author. And in this podcast, I'll share a few simple frameworks to help you suffer less pain and feel more confident about your current and future health. What if staying active for life wasn't about doing more, but about understanding how a few simple ideas work together? Over the past few episodes, we've explored a number of ideas. We've talked about the cliff of pain. We've looked at how risks quietly push people closer to the edge. We've explored measuring patterns, reducing load, calming the nervous system, improving the conditions for adaptation, relating differently to your body, and making movement enjoyable enough to sustain. Now, I'd like to bring all of that together because none of these ideas are meant to stand alone. Together, they form what I call the Active X method. Let's start again with the image we've used throughout this series, the cliff of pain. Most people don't suddenly fall into pain. They're quietly pushed closer to the edge over time. Risks accumulate in the background. Triggers become the last straw. Aggravators keep you stuck in the sea of suffering. And some people yo-yo up and down that cliff, but eventually some of those people find themselves stuck in the sea of suffering. But there's an important insight here. The cliff of pain is also the cliff of health. The same factors that quietly push you toward pain often push you toward poorer health more broadly. And the same actions that move you back from the edge tend to improve not just pain, but resilience, well-being, and long-term health. So the ActiveX method is really about learning how to stay well back from the edge. It's not just about minimizing your risk of pain, it's about living the life you want to live with confidence. The method itself is built around a set of simple practices, not rigid rules, more like lenses that help you understand what's happening and what direction you're moving in. Let's walk through them now. The first practice is measure, not in a complicated or medicalized way, simply noticing patterns. What tends to push you closer to the edge? What helps you move back? Without feedback, most people simply drift. Measurement brings awareness back into your mind. That's why in the Momentum program, we use seasonal check-ins across the year. Those quarterly check-ins create the opportunity to get objective feedback on where you are, take stock, and notice trends before you slide too far back towards the edge. The second practice is reduce. Often people try to solve problems by adding more. I know I do. More exercise, more treatment, more effort. But improvement often starts by removing the things that are clearly pushing you toward the edge. Reduce the aggravators. Reduce overload. Reduce the background stressors, the risks. Once that background pressure drops, the system becomes much more responsive. The third practice is relax. Recovery is not laziness. It's how the body resets. Your nervous system needs periods of calm to consolidate adaptation. Without recovery, sensitivity increases and the system becomes much more reactive. That results often in more pain. Relaxation allows the body to recover. Then we talked about Optimise. Once the system is calmer, small improvements begin to have a bigger effect. Optimizing means improving the conditions your body is working in. Sleep, movement, fuel, recovery, relationships. None of these need to be perfect, of course, but small improvements here can shift the whole system. Then we explored relate. The story you tell yourself about your body really, really matters. Your brain is constantly predicting what comes next. If the story you tell yourself is one of fragility, the system becomes protective. If the story is one of adaptation and rebuilding, behavior changes and you head in a positive direction. Relating differently to your body changes the direction you travel on the cliff. And finally, we talked about enjoy, because long-term consistency rarely comes from discipline alone. Remember, willpower is finite, it runs out. Enjoyment is super, super important, and it comes from finding movement and activities you really love to do. Enjoyment is what keeps behavior alive during busy periods and stressful seasons. Without it, even the best program eventually tends to fail. Now, I invite you to step back and look at all of these ideas together. They are separate features, but together they make up more than the sum of their parts. They start to look more like a way of understanding how health and pain evolve over time. This is the cliff of pain, cliff of health. Earlier in the series, we talked about how people rarely fall off the cliff suddenly. More often, risks accumulate quietly in the background. Triggers become the last straw. But we also explored the other side of that story, how awareness changes the trajectory, how reducing aggravators lowers that background load, and how calming the nervous system allows the body to reset. How small improvements in sleep, movement, and recovery can shift the system. And how the way you relate to your body and the enjoyment you find in movement makes those changes sustainable. All of these ideas work together. And that is the ActiveX method. Not a rigid program, but a set of tools that can help you understand where you are on the cliff and what might help you move back from the edge. And this is exactly what the Momentum program is designed to support. Those regular seasonal check-ins help you measure what's happening over time. Your sessions help you reduce aggravators and optimize for what you want. And the ongoing conversations with the ActiveX team help you relate differently to your body as it adapts and changes over time. Remember, the aim isn't perfection. It's simply moving comfortably back from the edge. Now that we've covered the foundations, future episodes of this podcast will take a slightly different shape. Sometimes I'll explore specific factors that quietly push people closer to the edge, things like those risks, triggers, aggravators that often go unnoticed. Other times we'll take a deep dive into ways to optimize the conditions your body is working in: sleep, nutrition, movement, recovery, relationships, and other aspects of lifestyle that influence long-term health and resilience. Some episodes will be just me, solo, unpacking a topic in a very practical way, and other times I'll be joined by expert guests or by people who've lived through health challenges and learned powerful lessons along the way. The goal isn't to overwhelm you with information. It's simply to keep adding pieces to the picture, helping you understand what influences the journey toward the edge and what helps you move back from it. So as you reach the end of this foundational series, remember this: you don't have to apply everything at once. Just stay curious about where you are on the cliff and what one small step might help you move a little further back from the edge. And that is the ActiveX method, taking small steps back from the edge. If today's episode sparked a shift in how you think about your body or your health, don't try to change everything at once. Choose one small action this week, something that nudges you towards staying active rather than avoiding discomfort. That's how confidence is rebuilt. You'll find further episodes exploring the 3 rules and the habits that matter most, not by doing more, but by doing things better. This programme is provided for general information only and should not be taken as medical advice. If you have persistent or worsening symptoms, please seek appropriate medical guidance.